Good evening, my fellow St. Martiners. Welcome to this public meeting we are holding here tonight for you all. For those who don't know me as yet, my name is Lucien Benschop. I'm your candidate number 8 on the United Democrats slate for the upcoming snap election on January 9th, 2020. As time is short and we are in the midst of the Christmas season, a lot of people don't really have that much time in spending towards going towards the elections. They don't really worry about it. They don't bother about it. But this is understandable. But going forward with our country, St. Martin, we still would need to take some valuable time in taking the time and analyzing, seeing what kind of candidates we have out there and what their program is, etc., in order to go forward. The past years have been very turmoil years for St. Martin. Think of devastating events like Hurricane Maria, like Irma, the grand beast that passed over St. Martin, falling of governments. This has all been bringing certain instability to our country, instability that we do not need at this moment. We, the people of St. Martin, are very resilient people. We are a very resilient population, and this I have got the privilege to experience firsthand. Just look after Hurricane Irma. It took us a few weeks to actually get the island back to a stable situation in where we could actually start building back up. The United Democrats Party is no new face in the political arena and have always shown to be a solid and stable entity and also proven that they can get the job done. This is the reason why I decided to make the decision to join the United Democrats Party. It's a solid party with a solid amount of people who can get the job done. With my 16 plus years of experience, local experience in our utilities company, NVGEB, in the function of Department Head, Business Improvement and Engineering, I bring to the table hands-on experience, managerial experience, and executable experience. Based on my experience as presented, once elected into office, these are the key priorities what I will be focusing on. Key priority number 1 will be lowering your utility bill. How are we going to do this? The ways of doing this is, for instance, going into renewable and sustainable energy forms. Think about solar energy and waste energy. Along with implementing the renewable resources, we're also going to make sure that we implement the net metering protocol. What is the net metering protocol? Net metering protocol means that any electricity, any energy that you produce as a resident where you have a solar installation on top of your roof, anything that you produce in excess will be pushed back in the grid and you will be reimbursed for it. Another key point that I will be addressing firsthand is tackling our waste landfill. This is a growing monster that we have had for years and years that needs to be tackled. How are we going to manage it? We're talking about building a waste management facility. This waste management facility in hand will have as a byproduct delivering back sustainable energy to our grid. This in order to make our grid much more reliable and prevent all those unnecessary blackouts that we have been experiencing these days. Coming off the electricity matter, one of the other key priority points we also need to tackle is a solid disaster management plan. We unfortunately live here in St. Martin in a hurricane belt where we have to make sure that every time when hurricane season comes, we have to make sure that we are well prepared. Well prepared in a manner of making sure that we have solid and safe shelters, water and food supplies, that in the event of a hurricane, we can make sure that we can get back up and running as fast and safe as possible. Economy diversification is also a very important point we have to look at. We cannot base our economy solely on tourism. We live in 2020 nowadays. We have to look at different forms, different ways to also keep our economy afloat. Think of situations, think of possibilities as agriculture, for instance. Talking about agriculture, we can do aquaponics, hydroponics, think of fish farming. One of the other options as well, think of international sport collaboration is also a possibility, and the list goes on and on. But in the end, we have to make sure that we diversify. Another solid point that we're looking at is our youths. Our youths Unfortunately, if you look around the island, there's not much activity, not much possibilities in the form of after school programs or any other solid options for them to be able to spend their time at. Our educational system is also a point of concern, and we need to look at educational reform. We have to look at how our process works here on St. Martin. We have to make sure that we support and educate and stimulate our educators in the system in order to bring our youths to a higher level. Community safety is also one of the main key priority points that I will be addressing, because a community that feels safe automatically improves their quality of life. I can go on, but as my time is limited, I will have to cut it short. In closing, I would like to tell everybody a happy, safe, and jolly Christmas season. And I'm counting on each and every one of you to come out on January 9, 2020 to cast your vote. Vote for Lucien Benschop, candidate number 8 on the United Democrats slate. Your way forward. Thank you.